What is going on, all you big and beautiful apes? Welcome back to the channel. Today is Sunday, tomorrow is Monday. That means it is time for a weekly price prediction video for AMC stock. And let me refresh your guys' memory. Last Sunday, we called out the drop to $35 per share. So I was one of the only YouTube channels that covers AMC to talk about AMC potentially going down this last week. And that's exactly what happened. Nobody could have forecast another $10 move under $35 to hit that low at $25.31. But we're going to do our best on giving you guys the best representation of the data and what I expect to happen with AMC throughout this next upcoming week. So hit that like button for me, consider subscribing to the channel, as well as that let me know your price prediction down below in the comment section. That is very important because after all, you are a part of this beautiful community and your voice matters. As well as that, consider subscribing to the channel and check out the pinned comment. I have my Twitter account linked down there, as well as the link for the buy and sell alerts. If you guys want to be notified every time I make a trade in real time, that is your way to do that. Now let's get into AMC. And obviously on Friday we were down 16%. We had a major recovery in the last half an hour of trading on Friday. We were down 16%. We closed down 4%. So we recovered 12% in only about a half an hour. So that was an incredible move to the upside. And no, I don't think it was shorts covering. I think it was hedge funds that realized, oh shit, we are hella short on AMC. We need to buy some shares to make sure if this thing bounces, we're not going to lose a ton of money. So I think that's exactly what happened. No, I don't think it was shorts covering. I think it was hedge funds buying shares to hedge out some of their short positions. And now to really get into what exactly I think is going to happen with AMC, there is a good and bad side to this. I want to give you guys my best case, my bear case, and my base case scenario for AMC stock. So my base case scenario is going to be what I think is going to happen. My worst case, obviously the worst case scenario of what's going to happen. My best case scenario is obviously the best case scenario, what could happen with AMC stock. And to really think about this, you have to look at the broad markets, because the broad markets have been coming down. AMC has been coming down as well. And I think we have a couple catalysts that are still on the table that are causing a lot of fear. The number one catalyst, the fear catalyst, being Fed Jerome Powell's meeting the 14th and 15th of December. A lot of investors are pricing in potentially a faster tapering of bonds. This is causing a lot of fear. Now, I don't know exactly, but I do think they might announce something crazy, like they are thinking about raising interest rates. So that could cause another level of fear. But this upcoming week, we're not going to see that announcement, because obviously it's not the week of the Fed meeting, it's the week leading up until that. So I do think you're going to see some fear, but not as much fear as Monday and Tuesday of the following week before the Fed meeting. Hopefully that makes some sense to you guys. But really, what I'm trying to say here is that forget the data even, because we're going to go with the overall broad market. If the market sell off, then AMC is going to sell off. And I do expect a bounce coming on Monday and Tuesday. I do expect a small bounce because you have a lot of people that still are going into the marketplace and they're buying the dip regardless of the fear catalyst. And Fed Jerome Powell, like I said, that is the biggest fear catalyst. On top of that, you have the debt ceiling situation where the United States could default on its debt in between December 21st and January 28th, 2022. So I do think the Congress is ultimately going to pass a resolution for the debt ceiling probably this upcoming week, and that should give us some, strength to go off of, right? Because that's a fear catalyst that would be out of the way. I don't think any investor really expects the United States to default on its debt. That's pretty much out of the window. But the main reason we have been selling off is because Fed Jerome Powell. And what I think is going to happen, like I said, I think you're going to see a bounce on Monday and Tuesday. And then ultimately, I think Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday could be a slower meltdown, at least on Wednesday. And then Thursday and Friday could be a sell-off into the end of the week, because that following week is going to be the week of the meeting and possible huge announcements from Fed Jerome Powell. So let's go over the worst case scenario, because we're always going to start with the worst case scenario and leave it off on a positive note. So worst case scenario, I'm sure you guys already know this, about $20 per share. That is your worst case scenario. That's not what I think is going to happen. That's not my base case scenario. Not what I think is going to happen. I don't think this is going to happen, but this is the worst case scenario, or around $20 per share. If we fell under $20 per share, that I don't even think that's mathematically possible with as many apes that are holding onto their shares. Now, worst case scenario, like I said, $20 per share. Base case scenario, what I actually think is going to happen, I do think you're going to see another bounce. AMC closed the trading day at $29.01 per share. So I do think you're going to see a bounce past above this 200-day moving average, which is $31.29 per share. And then you will come back down to about this support at about $28 per share. So I do think that is really what I expect. I expect to come down a little bit, but overall, just big moves to the upside, big moves to the downside, but to close a little bit lower than where we did close on Friday. So that's my base case scenario, to go up past the 200-day moving average, which is right here at $31.29 per share, to fall back down by the end of the week to about $28 per share. I don't really think we're going to go, to $25 per share. I don't think that is really on the table, because you're going to see that buy the dip mentality, and a lot of apes are probably have been waiting to buy AMC in general. So that's what I think is going to happen. Now, the best case scenario is that a lot of these fears blow over. The Omicron fears blow over today and on Monday, or throughout the first half of trading week this week. The Omicron fears go away, the debt ceiling goes away, so there's only one fear catalyst left, which is obviously Fed Jerome Powell, and that should, or could, I should say, give us that bounce to about $32, $33, $34 per share. I think that's the best case scenario. I think to say we're going to $40, $45, $50 per share this week is not very true, and I don't think that's going to happen, so I'm not going to tell you guys it's going to happen, even though we all want that to happen. I'm not going to lead you guys in that direction. I do think we're going to be in for a little bit more pain, but it's always possible that we do bounce up to in between $33 and $35 per share. So that is my best case scenario. Let me reiterate, my best case scenario, $33 to $35 per share. So that is my price prediction. That is what I think is going to happen. That is really, not even what the data is telling me. That is what market psychology has taught me over the past 4 years of investing, that these fear catalysts, they tend to induce, I should say, a lot of fear heading into that catalyst. So this week is going to be the first really full week until that Fed meeting, which is gonna be very, very important, guys. I cannot underestimate that whatsoever. This could go really good, or it could be really bad for the overall markets. Like you have probably seen in my last video. If you guys have not seen that, highly recommend you guys do that, talking about margin calls that could potentially happen with the hedge funds, due in part or mostly with the Fed and what they could announce this December meeting, the 14th and the 15th. So that is the current situation. That is what you guys need to know. That is my estimate. Now let's get into some of the other data. So the Ortex data is giving us a 17.56% short interest of free float. This is only an estimate, guys. I do think logical common sense here, the short interest is well over 20%, because November 15th, the settlement day for the exchange reported short interest data, which is like concrete evidence of what the short interest is, minus any manipulation that is going on with the option chain to cover short interest or anything like that. This is just provable data that we know, was 17.05% short interest of free float. November 15th, we were at about $44 per share. We have taken a major downturn, almost $20 down from where we were November 15th. Incredible to even say that. Just wild. I never thought I'd be saying that. But to think the short interest is only 0.5% higher from, taking a 20% or $20 downturn from this level November 15th is not true whatsoever. The short interest well over 20%. So that is very important. Something very bullish to look forward to. Ultimately, we want the short interest as high as possible. That'll make the MOAS even better. Now, the days to cover was 2.07, and the shorted shares was 87 million. So I do think the days to cover likely to stay about the same. The volume on average has been roughly unchanged, and the shorted shares was 87.46 million, like I said. So I do think the shorted shares is well over 100 million. That is a very large amount relative to normal volume that we were seeing before this market downturn. So all in all, very bullish information from the Ortex data. Now, the share utilization is 76.66%. This is a given because obviously AMC, we've had a lot more short activity. So those shares that were available to be sold short have already been sold short. So to see the share utilization going up is something that we have expected here on this channel for quite a while. So all in all, very, very bullish given what AMC is doing. It wouldn't seem like it, but it is when it comes down to it. Now, the Stocko Tracker data, we're looking at a lot of put activity coming into this week. About 24,500 for puts that are in the money, 14,000 that are out of the money. But December 17th, which is going to be the week of the Fed meeting, we do have 83,000 puts that are in the money, 106,917 that are out of the money. So like I've said many times, this works to our benefit if AMC does bounce, because these puts that have ran into the money, to basically hedge for these puts that do run into the money, the market makers, they have to short stock on the open market. But once these puts run out of the money, you see de-hedging, which means market makers have to buy shares at the same time as those puts running out of the money. Consequently, calls are going to run into the money, and you will also see another front of buying that will have to happen from the market makers. And we are only looking at 17,692 calls that are in the money expiring December 17th, and 283,780 calls that are in the or out of the money. So we do have a lot of potential to see a lot of calls go into the money if we do see a bullish reaction this week. And considering December 17th is right around the corner, gamma levels are starting to go up at a rapid pace. You are going to see a lot more hedging happening for the puts and the calls once the puts go deeper into the money or out of the money, or the calls go deeper into the money or out of the money. You're going to see a lot more hedging overall based off of that gamma level for the market makers to ultimately remain delta neutral. So you're going to see a lot of volatility overall. I don't want to sugarcoat shit for you guys. You're going to see a lot of volatility. Keep those emotions in check. There's a lot of different things that are going to cause shorting power, that are going to cause buying power. But all in all, what do we know? The apes are unstoppable. Nothing can stop the apes if we work as a collective group. So now, that's really what you guys need to know from the Ortex data. Let's talk about a little bit more of these fear catalysts. And we have not gotten any crazy announcements as far as Omicron is concerned, but Bitcoin has been selling off. And a lot of people are talking about how when Bitcoin sells off, AMC tends to rip. From my charts that I have put up for myself, that doesn't tend to be the case. They do tend to correlate more than they discorrelate. But I wouldn't go as far as to say just because Bitcoin sold off 17% in the last 24 hours, AMC is going to sell off another 17%. This is really a toss-up at this current moment. They may correlate, they may discorrelate, but it's definitely something you guys should hear and know about here in this video. Now, like I said, with Omicron, we're not seeing any major headlines. This one says more than 20 people have tested positive for Omicron in the United States. Here's what we know about the cases. They've all been very mild. We have had no hospitalizations. Everything seems to be going okay with this. And this is really the longer lasting catalyst that could take more time to develop, because 20 cases, we don't really have an insight into how bad this is compared to the first COVID-19 and the Delta, but I think investors are really presuming that it's not going to be that bad. So that is basically all you guys need to know. This is the core data of this week. So anything else is really going to be irrelevant. AMC is going to go and follow the broad market. If the broad market rips, AMC is going to rip. If the broad market sells off, AMC is also going to sell off. I sound like a rocket scientist, but that is all for this video. Hit that like button for me. Consider subscribing to the channel. Let me know in the comment section, like I said, what is your price target for AMC by the end of this week? I hope we're wrong. I hope the stock does rip, but what I am thinking my base case scenario, just to reiterate yet again for you guys, is that we do fall down, well, I should say go up a little bit Monday and Tuesday, and then we ultimately do fall to about $28 per share to close the week. And then that next following week will give us the true testament if we're going to see that rip or if we're going to see that decline. So that is all for this video, guys. Like I said, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, all that good stuff. If you guys want access to all of my buy and sell alerts, that link is pinned in the top comment, as well as the link for my Twitter account. Go ahead and follow me over there. You will get the news on AMC or any other stock that I'm following or investing in before I ever make a video about it. Now, I just want to say love and appreciate you guys. Thank you for supporting this channel, watching these videos. It means a whole lot to me. Love you guys so much. Thank you for making this possible. That is all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed your weekend and you enjoy your Sunday. I will see you in the next video.